Demi Hannaway had been a bright student at school. Her passion was singing. Her dream was to be a doctor. But she died suddenly, aged 23, and it was her partner, Andrew Brown, who said he found her hanging in their bedroom, that it was suicide. Brown later admitted he had been abusing Demi for years, in particular that he frequently strangled her. He is now in prison for the domestic violence, but he's never been charged with killing Demi. Her family are convinced it was a staged suicide, and they've made a formal complaint about multiple police failures they say allowed Andrew Brown to get away with murder.
He's a boy that can't control his temper,
Yeah.
and when his temper goes, he goes for Demi's neck.
Yeah.
And that is why we've got our concerns.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other things the police have missed.
We've reported evidence that Demi was trying to get Andrew Brown out of her house and that he was being violent just 1 hour before she died. We can also report police should have known Brown was an abuser when they arrived because he had a prior conviction for attacking Demi. We've shown this case to the person who's actually trained Police Scotland how to identify staged suicides.
This is a substantial injury. That's very concerning.
She is scathing of officers for failing to follow basic procedures.
That's a massive red flag. So that's controlling. We have violence. We also have Demi saying, I want to be on my own. Those three risk markers together raise the risk for homicide by 900%. So if you put that with the non-fatal strangulation, she should have been right at the top of the list for a suspicious death. This isn't advanced. This should be then standard protocol.
Demi's family say police told them they would at least do some door-to-door inquiries with neighbours. The family does not believe this was done, so we checked. Did the police come to your house to ask if you'd heard anything, or?
No, it didn't.
The police didn't come to your door?
No.
You're only a few doors down from her, so we thought they might have come to knock the door and ask.
No, they never came down.
Did the police come to your door at all?
No, I don't think so.
Residents didn't want to be identified, but some had actually spoken to Demi hours before she died, and they told us she seemed distressed, and Andrew Brown was in the house. Demi's family had also told police about another possible witness who had seen Brown's assaults and who had made plans with Demi to meet the day she apparently ended her life.
It just doesn't make sense. The first word I did, like the first sentence I said after it, I was like, what did he do to her? Like, what did he do to her? His go-to would be going for her neck and try to strangle her. Like,
You saw this?
yeah. Like, I understand that couples argue, but again, that's not an argument, that's just pure evil.
You're Demi's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke to her the night before she dies and you had plans with her to meet her the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Did police contact you after her death?
No, nothing.
We can also report there was no forensic post-mortem after Demi's death. Police did not provide the pathologist with any scene photographs, and they failed to tell him about the known history of abuse. With the family's blessing, we brought a crime scene examiner into the room where Demi was found.
I'll be here primarily to photograph the scene itself. It's all about recording the scene as close as possible to what happened at the time of death.
He says the proof of how she died could still be traced from a sensitive detail in this case, if police have kept the actual ligature that was tied around Demi's neck.
The ligature itself is absolutely crucial, but the knots itself is specifically crucial because the knots were tied by either the person who ended their own life or by a perpetrator who has committed a crime against this person.
So, fundamentally here, whoever's fingerprints are inside that knot indicates they were the ones that tied that knot.
It's all about preserving them. If the evidence is preserved, then we can look at these as a cold case years and years later.
We put all of this to Police Scotland and asked if the evidence, such as knots on the ligature, is still preserved. They have given us a longer statement than before in which they say their thoughts are with Demi's family and they are working hard to address their complaints, but they still told us it would be inappropriate to comment further at this stage. Tomorrow, Demi's family have a meeting with the Lord Advocate, Scotland's head of prosecutions. It has been almost 4 years of feeling ignored, but they have their evidence and renewed hope that the case into their daughter's death will now be reopened. Peter Smith, ITV News, Airdrie.